So here we are making the body, or at least spotting it. That's the centre hole, and then we need to go to 8.91, 8.91 either way. So let's have a look. So we're going to go to 8.91 and 8.91, and that should give me the hole for the driving shaft to correctly mesh with my gears. My gears, if we step over all the crap in the workshop, are here. They're really quite tiny. So those are two 21s, and that's a 20. Oops. With exactly the same diameter, so it's effectively a module 0.627. They mesh together quite nicely. They could do some cleaning up still, but there we go. So this one will have a 6mm shaft up the middle of it. This one will have an 8mm shaft with a 6mm hole. It'll counter rotate against here, and this will have an 8mm shaft running down to the driving gear. Okay, so that's the block centered in the lathe, or at least good enough to be considered centered. Now what we're going to do is going to poke a little 6mm hole in there. Now that needs to be 7mm deep for the gears, and then another 5mm for the support. Actually no, it's just 7mm deep, and then we'll put another 5mm on the end of that for the stub at the bottom. So that will go in at 5.5, and then I will ream it to 6. Right, we're dreamed. We are drilled and reamed, and we now need to make a 14mm hole here, which goes 7 and a bit millimeters deep, about maybe 8mm deep, slightly over 7. So we're going to bore that out. Let's see whether I can do all this all at once. Well, there'll be a fair amount of that going on, so I'm going to take my fingers off the lens. I'm going to get on with that without filming it, because it's extremely difficult to do. I don't have my tripod or my camera with me. In the words of the wonderful Jimmy Savile, who brought joy into the arses of children worldwide, how's about that then, boys and girls? That's alright, I can deal with that. Next up. So we're now set up to drill the main shaft hole. This will go in at 8mm, well it's going to be 7.5mm, then ream and then counter bore. This is just a prototype. Eventually I suspect the final one I'll probably make from either cast iron or steel, and it will have bronze bushes in there, but for the moment aluminium should be fine. So here we go for proof of concept time. It's assembled with the green goo of utter failure, because I've got aluminium gears and steel shafts and bits of bronze. I should make bronze gears or steel gears and solder them. But anyway, here is we're marked on the shaft and on the oops, go that way. We're marked on the shaft and on the sleeve. So the sleeve is on the 21 tooth gear and the shaft is on the 20. So we come around once, slightly out of sync. That's 10 turns. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Actually, maybe I miscounted because that looks like it's lined up again. So there you go. What I'm going to do now is make the cap that goes on here, which runs on this, and a couple of discs and a gear to go on the end of this, and we're going to give it a try. But that's enough for today.